Hi, I'm
Katy-Shander-Reynolds.
I don't know why you're talking.
I don't know.
This is my show. You're just a guest tonight.
Okay.
So you need to let me do the talking.
Okay.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Katy-Shander-Reynolds. Welcome to Behind the Curtain. And we have a fabulous show for you tonight. We have just finished a fabulous project on film that we will be premiering at the VFW on September 5th. It's a Wednesday night that we hope you will be able to come out and see Nearly News, the film that we just filmed.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, oh, okay, now you can talk. Okay, so the premiere, September 5th, and we've just finished, we're just in the process right now of putting this film together. And today on the show, we have the behind-the-scenes professionals who are doing all that work. Mm-hmm. And so I will be interviewing Joe here, who was the director of the project. We have Todd Carter here tonight. He is the lead cinematographer. We have his assistant director, Aidan-Shander-Reynolds. We have Connor Donovan, who was also an editor on the project and just put together a fabulous trailer. Yeah. And then we have Phil Giargiari, who is the sound editor. Yeah. So they will all be here tonight. I will be interviewing them and asking wonderful, penetrating, piercing questions of everybody, and you will be getting some inside info about this great project. Yeah. So some other important things that we need to let you know about are our fall show that we are getting ready to have our table readings for.
Yes.
August 2nd and August 9th, we will be having table readings for Play On, which is the play that we'll be doing this fall. It's a comedy about something we know a little bit about, actually, you know, community theater. Yeah. So we've got that going on.
And that's October 25th, 6th, and 7th.
That will be the
VFW again.
That will be the run of the play, indeed. Yeah.
So how about we watch the little clip that Connor did?
We are going to watch the fabulous trailer that Connor just put together, and then we will be right back with the interviews.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
This week, Tim Hultquist, and former South Boston resident, has bought local TV station WTNA.
I need to do something to get these ratings out of the grave. And I'm searching for anything that'll make our show more watchable.
My gosh, have the interns started tonight?
Interns? That's all we need.
Well, the new station owner has been firing everybody. He fired half the production team, several field reporters, and maybe even an anchor. He buys stations like we buy music on iTunes.
I just stream on Pandora.
We have our sports anchor, who's off on the golf course more than he reports any scores. And then there's our weatherman, who falls asleep in mid-sentence. And you kept Marcy, our supposed lead field reporter who has slept with everybody in the business to get to where she is. Well, except you.
You know, Kaylee, I'm not too sure about this internship.
Say goodnight, Erica.
Good night, Erica.
All right, welcome back. That was a fantastic viewing of the promotional video for our new movie, done by Connor.
Yay. Good job, sir.
Well done, sir. I have a question for you, actually. Yes. Since you acted in the original version of this way back when, The Interns, and this time you were behind the scenes, you were behind the camera, which did you prefer?
I don't know. Kind of depends on the day. I'm pretty experienced in both.
Yeah.
And it kind of depends on how I'm feeling. Some days I wake up and I'm just not ready to act. And some days I wake up and I'm all gung-ho about it. So it kind of depends on the day. I can always stand behind a camera though.
That is true.
I'm always down for that.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. All right. So next time we have something that we need filmed, we know where to go.
Oh, yes.
He will always stand behind the camera.
Always.
Yes.
All the makeup is so hard to do.
That's true. Yeah. No. I sat in makeup for 3 hours before we started filming this right now. So.
Well, you look fantastic. It was well worth it.
But my question to you is
well worth it.
Is why do you do the makeup when you're behind the camera? You still do the same 3-hour thing. It's about the appearance.
It's a signature look.
Yeah.
It's a signature look.
Working for him. Good.
All right. So Joe, talking about the way back when, the interns. This is our third iteration of this material, and I was wondering, in your opinion, is this the third time's the charm, or 3 strikes and we're out?
I think it just keeps getting better and better. I think we just built on something that was really good in the beginning, and we just keep building on it and adding more and more ideas and actors. And so I'm saying it's only the top of the first inning for this 9-inning game.
All right. Would Zach approve of the movie?
Ooh.
Would Zach approve of the movie?
Yeah.
I think Zach would not approve of his character being cut.
And we missed his sartorial contribution. I have to say, the Zach outfits, you know, were a big part of that.
He wouldn't get to wear his sloth it's just pretty disappointing. But in a way, he's irreplaceable, I say. So.
Good point.
So, you know, he would probably be humbled that he's not been replaced by somebody, but at the same time mad that he wasn't in the movie in the first place.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Todd, I have a question for you.
All right.
So you were the lead cinematographer, the editor. Have you chosen a title yet?
No.
Okay, so
there's too many to pick
from. I know, and they're all so good. They're all so good. What was the most challenging thing for you about having that role?
Oof. I think the most challenging thing was, I think Connor and Aidan can attest to this, was setting up all of the shots each time and all these little things that we kept doing, just little tiny adjustments to the camera, to the shots, to all the different angles, because we're working with upwards of 3 or 4 cameras for a scene. So adjusting each and every one of those cameras to be just perfect for that scene, I think that's probably the toughest part. And working with Phil. That's always difficult.
All right. So judging by what I've heard, somebody saw the rough cut last night. You did an awesome job. Does it feel good to look back now and say, oh, you know, that was really hard, but I did it. I pulled it off.
Yeah, it was definitely very rewarding going through all of the footage, because the rough cut is what we saw last night, but that also took hours of scanning through all the footage that we had, which is right now, spoilers, I had an hour-and-a-half cut, and of that hour and a half, I probably went through 5 hours of footage.
Wow.
So.
Well, I guess that's how it must work, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did we introduce everybody?
We did not introduce anybody because they're all so well known in the community. Like, why bother?
Why bother? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just was curious.
But for those of you who are just tuning in for the very first time ever, we have Todd Carter, and we have Aidan-Shander-Reynolds, and we have Connor. Everybody has to know Connor.
Donovan.
Right? Connor's been on, well, actually, Aidan, you've been on the show before, too. And Connor, and then we have Phil Giargiari. I don't know, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Yes. Yes.
Does Connor not have a last name?
Yeah, he did.
He said Donovan. I didn't know that I needed to repeat it again.
It's okay, I'm like...
Connor Donovan.
I'm like Prince or Sting.
It's just Connor.
Yeah.
Just Connor. So, all right, I have more questions for other people.
Love the questions.
I'll be coming back to you guys. Don't get too complacent. Aidan.
That's me.
I think, you know, the world and our audience would really like to know, what was it like to be assistant director to Joe?
Scary question. No, it was actually
Not fair.
so. Yeah, right. Wow. Let's go in so many
Remember, it's a
directions.
family
Can
show.
we take 2 takes of it?
So originally I was really intimidated because I never done anything like this before. I mean, I kind of came in thinking like, what am I doing? But Joe actually, he was amazing at the start, kind of being like, this is what you're doing, stick to your role. And then as I got more comfortable and kind of like got used to what I was doing, he let my like creativity go a little bit. He kind of just let me loose and just into the world. So I really enjoyed it. I loved it. And I think Joe did a fantastic job mentoring me, because, you know, his ego needs that boost. So I figured I'll hand it to him.
Get it out of the way now, guys.
He also had a For Dummies book. He had an assistant director for Dummies.
Yeah, of course. That was not supposed to. We need to change that title, though. It's not assistant director. It's Schlate Boy.
Schlate Boy.
Schlate Boy.
And that's what made it all worth it, right? I mean, all those really painstaking things that you had to do to set up for each scene was well worth it when you got to scream from the booth for your Slate Boy.
Slate Boy. Yeah.
I think we can make a movie out of just rolling and slate
Yes,
boy.
and actually that leads
and
me
make
into
it
a
good.
question for Phil.
Ooh.
How are your eardrums? I mean, being in that sound booth with him, how many times did your eardrums get blown out?
Well, funny you should ask. As you know, I always wear headphones, right?
Yes.
Well, I had to replace the headphones I was using for a set that had noise canceling features.
Ah,
So when
that
I
was
put them
wise.
on, it shuts out, it brings down the word rolling from 140 dB to about 105, which is tolerable.
Okay, that's good to know.
140 is a jet engine.
So I shouldn't suggest right now that Todd give us an example of what it sounded like.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
Still nightmares. He still has nightmares.
Miles, it's going to go into clipping.
Yeah, we must have clips of that. We can insert one of those clips in here.
Oh, we're not going to do it here.
Oh, we can do it.
Are we ready? Is everybody prepared? I mean, mentally, emotionally, physically?
I'm definitely.
Okay, we ready?
Roll it! Oh, God.
And I often wondered, you know, because if I were in the front room there getting ready for a scene that we were filming in there, and we had the televisions on, and you were still screaming like a banshee from the back room, and I just realized you must have really just enjoyed doing that, getting all those frustrations.
It's a lot of fun.
It was. It was
Better that way.
Childish, just yeah.
Super excited.
So, Joe, what was it like having these three at your back? As an actor, I mean, I found it very amusing. I thought that the set atmosphere was really the best one we've had so far. In my opinion, it was serious in the sense that they knew what they were doing, and they were clearly working hard to get the work done. But it was fun. I mean, every single night was lighthearted.
And I think the first meeting we had with people, first thing I said to everybody is, this is a project, we're going to have fun. If we're not having fun, we shouldn't be doing it, right? But we're professional, and we're trying to get a good product out there, and we all are aspiring towards the same thing. So once I think you level set that we're all in this to do the best product, and let's have fun doing it, the rest becomes, you know, easy to deal with. So to answer your question, they were fantastic to work with. All of them were fantastic. They were here on time. They're professional. You know, they did what needed to be done. We communicated well, I think. And I trusted their creativity on some things. And I think they came up with some really good ideas on camera angles and you know, what works in the scene and what the actor is doing, what it's not doing. And then we had a little fun every time we did a scene in which we said, let's do an LOL scene. And they all got a chance to come up with an LOL scene and about, you know, we're going to do one more scene, one more take of that, and then we just do something bizarre.
And all the actors are rolling their eyes because that's another take.
That's another take. Yeah. But we usually did it when we were done taking, and it's fine. But no, they were great. It was just fantastic. But I think the key was, and I appreciate you saying that, it was a fun set atmosphere, good group of people, and you know, that's really what it's about. It's fun to do, and they were great to work with.
Agreed. All right. Phil.
Oh boy.
Will you work with Joe again?
Wow. Why is the question to them about me? We could.
I just asked you a question about them.
I know, but it's true.
It's fair.
Will
you work with Joe again?
Joe again.
Yes. Why or why not?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
The first answer is simply, do I have any choice?
That's true. We all know how it works
I'm
with Joe.
diagonally across from him.
Yes.
If I don't work for him, he'll come mow my lawn with ragged mower or something.
That's why he doesn't write. He doesn't do improv either. By the way.
No, sure.
We're all friends here.
And what was the second half?
Sorta.
Why or why not?
Oh.
But I guess you answered the question. You're going to work with him again because you're afraid of the repercussions if you do not.
Right, right.
Got it.
However,
He's very vengeful.
No lawyers watching this, right?
I have to admit that it's fun to work in that studio. I mean, that control room, and control a big 25-channel mixer when all I have is a mere 16-channel mixer at home now. And before that, it was only 6.
So you just
So you get to
work in the
you get to
studio.
play with new toys.
He doesn't
That's
like
not bad.
any of
That's not
us.
bad.
It goes back
That's
to
not
fun,
bad.
right? You find that fun, so that's cool.
All right, Aidan.
It's me again.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So
Late boy.
in the first film that we did with this basic story, you were Daniel.
The TV show.
Yeah. Well, it was a film project, but yes. And I wanted to get your opinion on like how Tanner's portrayal of Daniel differed from yours. And what did you?
So I feel like I was kind of more like a kind of nervous, unsure of himself. And Tanner was kind of more outgoing, and he was loud and proud. I think Tanner killed it. I think first time I'll say this, only time I'll say this. I think Tanner did a better job than I did, because I was really, really impressed by like his take on the character, and I could like connect with his version better, and it fit with other actors, I think. And I think part of that is because he absorbed some of Zach's lines. Maybe absorb some of his character. I don't know, maybe. But
I think that's fair. I mean, the character was different this time because it was sort of an amalgamation of Daniel and
We've already
Zach.
been over this. Zach is your replacement.
Sorry. My bad.
But some of Zach's lines we couldn't let go.
No.
You know, we couldn't let them all go.
But I'll just say that I don't think there.
Excuse
one
me,
was
what do you
better
think you're
than-
doing?
I'm interrupting.
I didn't ask you a question.
It's okay. But that's fair. Remember the thing he said about the.
Yes.
I don't think one was better than another. They were both different. They were both good. They were just different perspectives on the same character. So I think that it's sort of like when people make remakes, it's a different thing. So I don't think one's better than another. So I think they were
Yeah,
both
twice
good.
see Hamlet more than once.
Yes, they keep coming back with that one. My
know.
God.
I know.
And so Aidan and Tanner are basically Hamlet.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Glad someone put it out there. I didn't want to pat me on the back or anything. But
So I'm going to ask you then a similar question to the one that I asked Connor over here. Which did you prefer? Or did you prefer behind the camera or in front of the camera?
I'm going to have to give the same kind of answer Connor gave.
Yeah.
I can't really, they're so different. I can't really pick one. It's really cool when you're being tapped by your partner next to you. It's really cool when you can kind of stand behind the cameras and kind of see everything coming together. And you can kind of look at what's going on and understand why certain things are done a certain way, rather than the intuitive choice or what you would have done in the real world wouldn't really make sense on camera. But when you're actually acting and you're standing in front of the camera, it's so different because you're making these decisions, but you don't really understand what the director might tell you to do something else. And I don't know, it's just so different that I can't really pick one that I preferred.
Well, it's good that you like them both. That is a good thing. All right. I don't know how much time we have left, but I want to make sure I get in the good questions.
Get them all in. We can always edit out the ones that I'm speaking.
All right, Phil. How did this project compare for you to therapy sessions?
Oh, you know what? I thought you were going to ask how it compares to the interns. However, you didn't.
I didn't. I moved on.
Answer the question she asked, Phil, and stick to it, or we're going to have your lawyer in.
How did it compare?
In terms
I'd have
of-
to say that I enjoyed this more because it was easier to capture good audio with this one.
Sure, because we weren't in someone's house. Yeah.
Well, or driveway.
Or driveway, yes. With chickens.
Where else did we go? I forget.
You love the outdoor scenes, Phil. Don't get me wrong. You like
That-
external shots.
That scene at Stones, it went perfectly.
The first trains, planes, automobiles. Second time went well. He liked the second one.
Yeah.
That's the only thing about it.
Yeah.
About the whole shoot was the outdoor thing. It just didn't work
Pain in the neck.
well for from an audio perspective. It was kind of ragged.
What would you do differently for an external shoot than you would do for an internal shoot? Because
Just pick a nicer outdoor location. But
Nicer
I
meaning
understand
quieter?
You can't just go wherever you feel like going.
you have to arrange the.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just curious whether it's a technical thing or if it's a personal preference that you prefer to be indoors versus
Oh, no,
outdoors.
it's totally technical. And Stone's Public House was the biggest challenge I've ever had trying to capture sound. And I thought for sure that it would be better with your body mics on, but it was only this much better, in my view. But I haven't heard it yet.
So how can you say it's that much better if you haven't heard it? Just questioning right now.
Because I had headphones on.
Oh, you heard it as it was happening, yeah. We watched it last night. I mean, it's you'll not like it because I know how picky you are, but that's okay. It's good.
Picky is good.
Picky's good.
All right, so
it's good that you're not as picky as me. Nothing would ever get done.
That the yin and the yang.
Take 742.
So here's a question for all of you to think about. What was one thing you learned on this project that you didn't know before? One new thing that you learned.
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
I didn't know that Jody owned a Britney Spears shirt. I learned that.
Yes,
we don't talk about that.
I didn't know she knew and loaned that. That's probably the first thing that popped into my mind. I'll think
Maybe I
of
should have been more specific in my question. What's one useful thing that you learned that you didn't know before?
You were funny.
I think Todd has something he'd like to say.
Bring memory cards if you're off location. That's a good one. That way Connor doesn't have to run through traffic to get them.
I would think you would have known that one already with all of your experience.
Wow. You would think.
Wacka. Yeah.
You would think.
But that's good that you learned it now. It's good.
You would think. For those who don't know, this is an inside joke because we showed up to a shoot one day and Todd forgot the memory cards, so Connor had to drive through traffic, adding another 30 minutes onto the shoot to go get the memory cards. Yes. You would think.
You would think.
Yeah. There's always something. Light bulbs.
We're all
cards.
friends. Oh yeah, and we're not even going to use that take. That whole day.
So what did you learn from that experience, Connor?
To remind Todd to bring memory cards. No, I don't know if I learned anything specifically new, but I kind of stretched my knowledge a little bit. Like practically, I had thought about the way I would do a scene, or the way I would edit a trailer, or put together a title card or something like that. But it's just one of those things working at the station that it doesn't come up every day. So this was more of an experience in like putting all the skills that I had to use, especially since I just came out of college and stuff with degrees in this sort of thing. So it was kind of a practical sort of a road test of the things I've already learned.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback off of that, and I said I was going to say I think we kind of like pushed each other a little bit too, and we tried out some new things.
Yeah, definitely.
We definitely switched up camera angles and really changed the way. I don't know if we learned anything too new, but definitely switching things up.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Unlike these two professionals, I'd say I learned a lot. Can't really think out one specific thing, but just generally I'd never assistant directed before, so I think that I learned a lot. I mean, everything from day to day, just telling actors where they were last, where they should be next, setting up the stage, making sure everything's aligned correctly, making sure everybody's wearing the right costume, which we had problems with sometimes. Going back and talking to these guys about various shoots, that kind of stuff.
Writing legibly on the slate.
I don't know what you're talking about. I should have been a doctor.
Is there music before I speak, or just one?
Which side are you going to come in on?
I don't know. Look, I think the other side. The one thing I will say is that I had a vision of what the story would be about, how it was going to be, and I tried to articulate that to the team to make sure they knew what we were trying to get to. The thing that I learned the most was the switching board. That was pretty cool. And I started doing it, and they couldn't drag me away from it. I'm like, oh, I'll switch, Todd. I'm good. I'll be switching back. Oh, this is cool. So that was pretty cool. And seeing
maybe you should tell the audience what that means, though. What is the switching board?
It switches between one camera angle to another angle, so you can actually switch what is being recorded from whichever camera was being filmed. But I also learned a lot last night just to see what you do just to edit. And it's an amazing amount of things. And you were moving things around on that screen. It's like a blur. And it was pretty cool. So both of those aspects, from the technical aspect, I'm enjoying to learn that. Because I knew from what I wanted to have happen, and I just kind of tried to explain to them.
Right.
Remember the long conversation we had about what we're going to do for the conference room interview thingies, whether we're going to do it here, we're going to do it there. It's a lot of definitely collaborative approach about what we're going to do there. So it was good to hear everyone's opinion there. I think he says we got 3 minutes.
3 minutes? No, go ahead if you have more to say. We want to hear it.
You want to hear it? Yeah.
Well, I thought everybody was.
Yeah.
What did we learn?
Yes.
Yes. What did you learn, Phil?
Something very simple.
Okay.
One of the jobs of a sound guy is to make sure that the signals coming into the mixer aren't so high that they overload the mixer or distort.
Okay.
So I would set the control that governs how much is coming in with about 20 decibels of headroom. In other words, the signal's here, I got 20 to go before I get into trouble. Well, when we filmed that scene in the conference room, and everybody started yelling and complaining and flipping out.
There was not enough cushion?
There's not enough cushion.
There wasn't enough headroom, so I learned that rather than leave it at 20 below, I should be about 30 or 40 below.
Cool. Very cool.
I mean, not every day you learn something like that.
No, so. Not every day you film a scene like that. Hopefully. Hopefully. All right. So, were there any surprises on this shoot that you had to deal with unexpectedly? Anybody?
I mean, we already talked about the memory cards, but
Yeah.
Surprises. The actors knew where to go most of the time.
Well, that was one nice thing. I mean, as opposed to other projects that we've done on film where the actors really knew their lines this time.
Yeah.
Because we had just done the play fairly recently,
That's
and we
why I
remembered
wanted to
our
do it
lines.
right
So that was
after-
nice.
I wanted to do it right after the play, so
that
that
was
people
nice.
were. It was nice getting everybody back.
It was.
Everybody,
That
and
was
we added more. So.
Brilliant. Yes.
I think the surprise for me was the new actors that we acquired. I think, for those who don't know, are really going to be a great insert into the show.
I don't,
All right.
I don't know if I call this a surprise, but something that I wasn't really looking for at the beginning and wasn't really paying attention to, that we caught on quickly that we had to pay attention to, was rings, wedding rings on people's fingers.
Continuity
I didn't,
and stuff, yeah.
It didn't even occur to me.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even think that that's something we need to be on top of because it's important.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, it was interesting because watching you learn how to be the assistant director, it also brought all those little details up for me, like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess you have to think about there's so many little niggling things that have to be done.
Yep.
You know, and on a project of this scale, it was a lot. You imagine like a full-length Hollywood movie, what they must have to do. That's why you have that
long list of credits.
About the list of 80,000 people that it takes to make a movie. All right, one more quick question. Most fun moment?
Slate boy.
So many fun moments with that one.
I was going to say, that wasn't one moment.
So many.
That was every day.
The outtake, which we purposely staged to scare you.
Yeah, that was
To
funny.
me, that was real fun.
I liked the one when we came on into the kitchen with the mop. That was fun.
The mop was good too.
Mop was fun.
Mop was good too.
Mop was fun.
The one when all of us went behind the camera.
Oh,
I mean, behind the screen, where David was sitting there
That was
talking.
Oh,
to
when you were
Katy,
behind the window.
And you were
Yeah.
behind the window. That was
Yeah.
pretty cool. There's a bunch of them.
I liked the one where you guys came into the conference room dancing.
Oh, yeah. I really liked, well, I don't even know if it was an outtake, but when at the end when you guys were all yelling and throwing stuff, and we just kind of let them go for like
That was the
10
one he was
minutes.
just talking about with the
Yeah.
decibels going up.
That was pretty funny.
What about you guys? Favorite? Funny?
Favorite funny?
Most fun.
I think the pizza guy.
How many takes did you ruin that night with that one? Just twice. You went to get the pizza, and then he came back and said, I think he needs a tip. Give him the $3. 7 we gave him. 7 just as a big bill.
I'd have given it to him, but all I had is 20.
He would have taken that.
He would have taken that.
Yeah, I probably with Joe on there was an outtake where it was David and Katy having a back and forth, and then we all just kind of appeared in a window behind Katy, and David was stone-faced, professional.
Exactly.
And he just kept going with the whole scene, even though
she knew what was going on, and she said, something's going on back there, but she was going through it too.
Yeah, I had the reflection on the...
Wasn't gonna miss a beat.
No, we were like, this could be the take that they want to use. We could finally be getting it right. You can't stop.
Yeah.
Absolutely
They
not.
stayed in character the whole time.
Yeah, it was fun.
With all of our stupid outtakes, everybody always stayed in character.
Well, you know, the show must go on.
Wow.
So, well, it was so much fun having all of you guys here, and thank you so much for taking your time to be with us and answer some silly questions and some not so silly, I guess.
They were very good, very well.
So I look forward to working with all of you guys again.
Yay.
Some of you very soon.
Yeah.
And
Are we stars now?
Yes.
You are.
Oh, you've been a star.
You've been a star
I know we just escalating
since
the stardom.
our first project, but yes, your stardom is increasing.
We're not. I don't think we're used to this either. We're usually behind the camera. This is still a little new for some of us.
Yeah.
Well, you handle it like a pro.
New for all of us.
Good.
All right, so come out and see us. September 5th is our premiere at the VFW, and we hope to see you there. And thank you so much. We'll see you next month.
See you next month.
Cut.
You got to give it 3 beats. Come on, you got to